Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. You gotta try to get as much shit done as possible.
And we're almost done with this chapter. We got this level and then a boss. So, yeah. Alright, go ahead and hop in. Blow, blow. Alright, Shores of Hell. Spawning vaults. Start.
So you want me to talk about this now, then?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch out.
Oh yeah, that's alright. Fucking shot at.
Alright, so last episode I talked about, at the end of the episode I basically said that eventually I plan on going back to work and pursuing a career. As of right now, I'm not going to disclose what that career is because I haven't gotten any further information on it yet. Basically, yesterday I just went to the place where they do that kind of stuff and asked what I needed to do in order to join up. And they basically just told me, like all the other places, like all these jobs do, they basically just said, apply online and see what happens. Either you can go to college and pay your own money and it's out of your pocket, or you can apply on the website and the state and the county cover it. But if you go your route, and you decide to go to college and pay for it on your own, and you pay for a course in, you know, college or whatever, and that's like $5 to $7 grand, and I don't have that kind of money to begin with anyways. But they're basically like, if you decide to go your own route and you decide to go through college and pay that way and fork out shitloads of money and shit like that, you'll have gone and done the course, but you won't be guaranteed a job after you graduate. So basically, go to college, pay shitloads of money, and then you're not guaranteed a position. Whereas if you go through the actual county and you go through the actual I'll just clarify what it is, okay? I can't. There's only so much I can like try to cover up and this and that, but basically what I decided to do was I went to the sheriff's office and I decided to ask about being a deputy, how to become an officer. I had already signed up online beforehand, and people are like, oh, he's joining ICE, he's radicalized, he's joining ICE, he's joining it. No, I'm not joining fucking ICE. Calm down, relax. You couldn't even pay me to do ICE. That's how bad it is for those guys. I feel sorry for those guys to begin with, but basically I just wanted to be like a regular deputy. I wanted to work for the sheriff's department. I wanted to be a cop. There isn't any cops in my family. Oh, there is one. I have a cousin, Mikey, who's yeah, we have a cousin, Mikey. That's how Italian our family is. I got my brother, Mikey, and then I got a cousin, Mikey, and then we got Vinny, and then we got fucking Grandpa Tony, Uncle Tony, cousin Tony, Tony.
So many Tonys.
There's so many Tonys, you can't even fucking shit straight. But, so cousin Mikey, he's a cop. He lives up in New York, so he's a New York cop. But, yeah, he's the only one in the whole family, actually, out of both sides. I don't think anybody's ever been a cop on my dad's side. My grandfather was a fireman, volunteer, basically did it for free, for shits and giggles, for fun. So imagine doing plumbing all day, and imagine being a full-time plumber and working basically 8 to 12 hours every day, and then imagine doing volunteer fireman basically on the weekends and like at nights, pretty much. Just basically, dude was working 24/7, so that's why, you know, Grandpa was a fucking savage. That he's just on a different level. And we were talking about it last night. We're like, why the fuck did he even do that? And he's like, I don't know. It's a different generation. My dad was like, he's a totally different. He's a part of a whole nother generation. Like, he's just fucking. They're different. They're built differently. They're not.
They're built different.
You know, and I'm sure, like, the fire department up there, they probably asked him at one point, like, they're like, hey, you want to do full-time? And he's probably like, I would love to, but the problem is I'm already a full-time plumber, and I already have a trade and shit like that, so I really don't see the point in joining up full-time firefighter, but whatever. He's still got all the fucking benefits of being a firefighter and shit. But, like, he had the gear, he had the outfit, he had the radio. You know, so stuff like that. But, anyways, that's not what I wanted to do. I thought about being a fireman, but then I was like, I don't really want to go in burning buildings and shit. I don't really want to... Plus, you also got to be pretty fucking huge to be a fireman. You got to be at least 6 foot. You got to be at least, like, 200-something pounds. You have to throw people twice your size over your back, and I'm not really, like... I don't know, I'm not built for that shit. Like, you can't see, like, a 5'7" guy who's, like, 150 pounds carrying some fucking 6 foot, you know, 6'5", 200 to 300 pound dude over his shoulders, and he's just dead weight because he's knocked the fuck out. I couldn't do that. Like, it's just not physically possible. I mean, I could pull him and drag his ass out of the building, but I ain't slinging his ass over my shoulder, that's for sure. I'd be dead, but, you know... So basically what I did was I basically just was like, yesterday I was like, fuck it, because we went down to the tax collector building, because Mike needed to get an ID, because he still doesn't have his permit, still doesn't have his license, so he's got to get some type of form of identification to prove that he exists, and he's not some ghost, you know.
He's not AFK.
Because every time we go places and shit, they're always like, do you have some kind of form of identification? And then they won't let him back. They won't let him back into certain places and shit because, like, for instance, like at hospitals and shit, like he tried to go back at the hospital one time and they were like, nah, you can't go back because you don't have any identification. We can't even prove you're real. Can't even prove you're an actual dude, so, so we went and we got the identification for him at the tax building and shit. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, I was thinking about it, and then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to try it. See what happens, see where I get. Because the sheriff's office is literally right next to the tax collector building. So I was like, you guys going to drop me off there, and I'm going to go inside. I'm like, I'm going in with low expectations. I'm not planning on getting very far. I literally went in with the mindset of just like all these other jobs where it's like, you go in... You tell them you applied online and they look at you with like a fucking adult look, like you got 3 heads and like you're dumb as shit or something. And they're like, why are you here? You know, when you go into Publix and you go, hey man, I applied online, you got any open positions? I'll take any position. And they look at you like, why are you here? Like, go home. Like, no, we don't. So, or when you go into Winn-Dixie and you interview and you,
Whoa, bro.
you go in for an interview and then they go, hey, you want the job? Hey, you got the job. And then they just don't talk to you and they ghost your ass for, you know, the rest of the hiring process.
You might want to watch out for the cyber demon, bro.
They go, hey, you got the job. Hey, you start next week. And then they go, and then you go call and you go, yeah, so, and then they don't talk to you and then they ghost your ass and that's that. So, I went in with those expectations. My expectations have been set real fucking low for the last year and a half in terms of jobs, careers, stuff like that. I go down, I don't even have a vehicle, I don't even drive, and I go down around town kicking fucking doors down and I still don't get anywhere. And I was thinking about that too, and I was like, if I had a car, like I'd be screwed because it's like I have to pay for the gas, I have to pay for the insurance, and I have to have like some kind of income coming in constantly to be able to pay for the vehicle. But here's the thing is like I could have a vehicle, drive around, kick fucking doors down and still not get anywhere in this area. So I was like, you know what? I was like, so that's why I was like, I was with them, we were out, and I was like, fuck it. So I was like, might as well do this while I'm out. So I went to the sheriff's office, went in there, talked to this dude, and he was like, well, basically told me the shit that I already did before I went in person. Basically go on the sheriff's website, and then there's going to be a position you can apply for. It's not guaranteed though, but they put you in like a lottery. You give them your email, you apply to it, and if they think you know, if they like your application and you get accepted, then you can go to the academy, and then the county pays for it and the sheriff's department pays for it. And he's like, there's two options. He's like, you can go online on the website and you can apply and fill out an application, and if they like the application, they accept you, and then you get enlisted in the academy. And then once you finish the academy, then you get sworn in, and you basically get guaranteed a job right off the bat. Like, you're just in, if you go through the sheriff's department. But he said if you pay your own route and you go to college and you pay like, I don't know, $5 to $7 grand, you pay for the course, but they don't pay for it. Nobody pays for it. It comes out of your pocket. You're not guaranteed a job after you graduate the academy, basically. So that's up to you. So I was basically like, here are my two options. Either I can, well, basically, I basically was like, I don't have any other option. I basically applied to the sheriff's office website before I went in person. And, the fuck? Why isn't this guy dying?
Well, he's not coming out.
Oh, I'll get him to come out, alright.
He's just sitting there.
But, I was like, here's my options. And they're pretty limited, because I was like, well, I don't have the money to go to college and pay for a course and not get guaranteed a job right off the bat. I'm unemployed already. And that's looking for a dead-end, mediocre, stupid-ass 9-to-5 job where you don't need a degree, you don't need a fucking college degree, you don't need any trade, you don't need any of that type of shit. You don't need any experience, you just apply. This is like jobs like McDonald's, your fucking Wawa's, your Dollar Generals, your Dollar Trees, all these stores and shit, all these, you know, your fucking Dave and Buster's, your fucking, you know, your local movie theater, your KFC's. These are the dead-end jobs that you chase. What?
I want to read this, so hold that thought.
You want me to read it? You've done it. The hideous cyber demon lord that ruled the lost Deimos moon base has been slain, and you are the triumphant. But where are you? You clamber to the edge of the moon, and look down to see the awful truth. Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make the bastards sorry they ever heard of you. Quickly, you rappel down to the surface of hell. The way I'm reading this is not how shit's meant to be read. Like, the way I'm reading it, it sounds like a 5th grader's fucking reading it. Now it's on the final chapter of Doom, Inferno. It's like, the way they want me to read it is like, hey, you know, Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make the bastards sorry they ever heard of you. Like, this, it feels like it was written by a 5-year-old. What are we doing? Did we finish the game?
No.
Well, then what are we doing?
Hot bagging. That was the end of chapter 2. Now we're on to...
Right. So anyways, back to what I was talking about. We're done, right?
Yeah.
I don't got to read any script written by a 2-year-old. Alright, good. Look at that vagina. Anyways.
What?
Oh, age restriction. Yep, there you go. Isn't this a boss fight?
No.
But, no, yeah, so basically what I'm dealing with right now is I'm dealing with dead-end mediocre jobs where it's like, oh, you have experience, you have a work resume, you literally, you've worked other jobs, and you're applying to them, but you can't get any interviews, and you can't even, they just look at your application, or they don't even look at, they don't look at your application, or they look at your application and they go, thanks, Thanks for applying. Thanks for being interested, but we're good. We're moving on to the application process. Your application was, you know, we like what we saw, but we're moving forward, basically, just like every other stupid-ass email I've gotten. So I'm like, here's my options. Either I keep putting up with this shit, and I keep being unemployed, and I keep not getting anywhere, and I can't buy my house in Tennessee, and I can't save up for my house in Tennessee, and I can't move out, and I'll never be able to move out of the fucking state because I'm dealing with the fucking Sahara Desert in this area in terms of employment and shit. So I'm like, well, I'm not paying to go to college because I don't have that kind of money, and I ain't taking a fucking loan out because I don't want student loan debts, and I'm not going to major in something that I don't want to major in, and I'm not going to go get this course for a cop to be a cop at college and then pay the money out of my pocket, and then I'm not even guaranteed a job afterwards, just like all these other people who go to college and trade school and all that other shit. They get these trades and they go to college and they major in this shit. And then they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get this job when I'm going to be an ESPN sports broadcaster when I get out of college. I went to community college and university college. Double whammy. And now I got shitloads of student loan debt, but I want to be an ESPN broadcaster. I want to do sports broadcasting. And then you realize, oh shit. Oh fuck. Wait, I'm not guaranteed a job? Nope. Just like everybody else on this planet. You're not guaranteed anything. You're not guaranteed shit. You're not entitled to shit. You get these people who are entitled, they act like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna all work out. That's not how life works, baby. Sweetheart, let me tell you something. My parents told me, that's not how life is, that's not how life works. Okay? It's that simple. This is the real world. You're not special. So, this is what I'm like thinking in my head. I'm like, alright, so I'm like, I got two options. Either I can do the college shit, which I can't afford, and I'm basically, it's pretty much, that's out of the fucking question to begin with. I'm just like, that's somewhat of an option if I had the money for it, but I don't even have the money for it, so I'm like, fuck it. So I'm like, okay, so I basically already did what he told me to do, because I went on the website. I was looking into it before yesterday. Like, this is something I've been thinking about for like a whole solid year. It was either this or joining the military. And I was like, I don't really want to join the military because I don't want to get fucking shipped off to wherever someone else wants me to be. Like, I don't want to get, what do they call that? I don't want to get deployed to like a different country that I don't even want to be in. I don't want to be in Iran right now. You know what I mean? So,
Like this game.
yeah, I don't want to be in fucking, I don't want them to deport my ass to fucking, not deport, you know what I mean? I don't want to get deployed to fucking Mars or the moon or some shit. So I'm like, okay, so I don't want to do the military. Plus, I don't really want to have to go through boot camp and, you know, all that other shit. But like, I don't know. It's been something that I've considered, trust me. And I was never one of those guys in school where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking join up. I want to shoot shit. Yeah. I was never one of those military guys in school where I'm like, yeah, I want to be a fucking Marine. Yeah, I'm gonna shave my head. Woo! Woo! Full Metal Jacket, baby. I was never one of those guys. I was never one of the guys. I was just one of those guys that like, I've had family in the military.
And they said it fucking sucked.
I haven't had. We got cousin Mikey, who was the only cop in the family, and we got grandpa, who was a fireman. But other than that, all of my other family members, military, bro. Uncles, grandfather, great-grandfather. My great-grandfather served in World War II on a Navy battleship and fucking fell in the ocean and got malaria, shark-infested waters, and lived. And then my grandfather fought in fucking, not Vietnam, but like after Vietnam. During the 70s, so basically the Korean War. You know, and then my uncle, he joined, but he didn't serve. He didn't fight no war or anything. He just joined for no reason. So I've had family in the military. Like, my family is pretty predominantly military. Shit, even my great-great-grandfather served in World War I. Who was my dad's
Yeah, watch out.
great grandfather.
Watch your motherfucking six.
My dad, not my dad's grandfather, my dad's great grandfather, Salvatore, who was from Sicily. He served in World War One. So yeah, like pretty much everybody in my family has served in pretty much every major world war. And then, but I've never been this type of guy where I'm like, yeah, I need to fucking enlist. Like, I need to join. Like, I never thought of it as one of those things that I wanted to do. It wasn't something where I was like, I need to do this. I was just like, if I have to do it at some point, then I'll do it. But I'm not doing it unless it's an option that I have to consider. And right now, I'm kind of considering it, but really not. It's like plan zero, essentially. Like, that's my last resort if that happens. That's like the final straw where I'm like, I'm just fed up and I just join and then I say, fuck it. Like, whatever happens, happens at that point. But, so I was like, but yeah, I was basically like, it was either that or a cop. And I was like, well, I kind of do want to be a cop because, like, there's no cops in my family. It's rare. I love westerns. I love, like, sheriffs. I love, like, that old school shit where it's like there's a deputy in town and stuff like that. I like that kind of shit. So, but also the fact that, like, you know, you can do all kinds of things. Like, you can...
Damn, bro, you zoomed to the end. You're like, you know.
You can, you know, you can be like a public...
Pandemonium, bro.
Like, you could be a servant. You could be like a civil servant to the public. You could be like a protector of the people and shit. I just wanted to be... And I wanted to be one of those cops that, like, not the ones you see on the news where they kill people and shit like that. I didn't want to be that kind of cop. I wanted to be the kind of cop where, like you're like, yo, I'm calling my boy up. He's gonna come get your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be that kind of cop where it's like, basically like a bookie cop, where like, or a beat cop, where like, everybody in the area knows me. And they respect me because I protect and serve their ass. But, yeah, I was, like, thinking about it, I'm like, it's either one or the other. It's like, I'm either gonna be... But then I was thinking about it, too, and I was like, it's either I end up on that side of the law or I end up on the other side of the law. Because at the rate I'm going, I'm gonna end up on the other side. And that was something that I was thinking about in my head, too. It was like, I was, like, going stir-crazy. And I'm like, if I don't fucking get my shit together, and, like, I don't start making money, and I'm not able to, like, move, and I'm not able to get out of this area, and I'm not able to get some kind of career going, I'm gonna end up snapping just like every other person who breaks bad and loses it, and then they're on the street, and then they're fucking, like, you know, strung out on drugs and shit, and I don't want to be that type of person. I don't want that to be my resort. I don't want that to be my final destiny and shit. I refuse to accept the environment that I'm in. Like, I'm surrounded by meth heads, crackheads, fucking drug dealers, fucking gangbangers, the whole 9 yards. But I refuse to succumb to that and be that, because I want better. And I want my kids to have a better life, and I want them to grow up in a better environment, and I don't want them to have to deal with that shit. And, I don't want them to have to suffer in poverty and shit. So I was like, either I'm gonna end up on the good side of the law, or if I'm not careful, I can end up on the bad side. So that's another reason why I was thinking about it, too. But it's something I've been thinking about for a whole solid year, and then I was finally like, fuck it, I'm gonna go on the website, and I'm gonna see if I can apply. While I was on there, they had some civilian positions, like crossing guard and shit. I applied to that. And then, of course, they had the position that you get sworn into, which is like the deputy patrol officer. But you can't just apply to that. That's something you have to literally, you have to graduate, you have to get sworn in.
Which is like boot camp.
Which is, yeah, it's basically like, yeah, police academies, yeah, but it's not like boot camp. It's totally different. It's, you gotta do like tests and shit too. You have to do like written stuff as well. It's not really that physical. There's not that much physical shit in police academy.
In that context.
It's more or less like learning the laws and like law enforcement and like the different type of Mirandas and all that shit. And different type of Miranda. There's only one Miranda, right? But you know what I'm saying.
What?
You're basically learning what type of options there are dealing with different scenarios, what negotiations you can use, what type of excessive force you're allowed to use and stuff like that. That's basically what Police Academy is like learning the different, like, you can't just pull out your fucking gun and shoot people. That's not how it works. Like, it doesn't work that way. That's, I mean, when they've asked you, this is why I was saying in that one video, the bully video, where I'm like, people, they just want to run around and act like a GTA character, because there's only so many times law enforcement really has to negotiate with you. Like, it can get to a point where if they have to put you down, you know, they won't be afraid to do it. And it's like, it's not something that I like to talk about. It's not something that people want to do. Cops don't want that shit on their conscience. They don't want to shoot people. But, like, there's only so many chances you get with negotiation where if people, you know, want to act like a GTA character and run around and drive and run people over and hit people with cars and shit, you know, you're not going to just get away with that. Like, you're looking at either manslaughter, murder, or you're looking at, like, you know, meeting your maker at that point. So, I mean, their hands are tied to an extent, and Florida's very leisure with, like, they're like, yo, if you get in front of our fucking vehicle, we're gonna do what we gotta do. I mean, that's that. You're not gonna get in the way of law enforcement. That's just, I mean, our job is to protect you, not put you in harm's way. If you're putting yourself in harm's way, you're also putting other people in harm's way. You're not just a threat to yourself, you're a threat to other people. You could end up hurting somebody else and putting some other innocent bystander in a situation they don't want to be in. And there's a lot of that shit that happens in the world. So cops are like, look, we'll give you, like, options. But if you don't take those options, then we don't know where else to go. Like, we don't know how much further we can take this for you. Like, so it's one of those things people need to consider. Like, you need to really, like, you need to study your laws. You need to look up your rights. You need to really understand what law enforcement really is allowed to do. Like, at the end of the day, they're allowed to do what they got to do. You want to get in the way of that, I mean, you're not just threatening yourself, you're threatening other people, you're threatening other lives, you're putting other lives at stake. So, but anyways, enough of that shit. But I was like, that's not why I wanted to be a cop. I wanted to be a cop because it's something I was interested in. And, mainly I liked the benefits, the pay, the fact that, like, you can get a pension, and, like, you don't get pensions anymore in today's day and age. That's rare. Like, not many people get pensions anymore. And plus, it's a county job, like, it's a state job. So, it's a government job. So, like, you get a lot of governmental state benefits in that sense. Whereas, like, if you're just working on a regular job, really all they have to provide you is health insurance, and that's it. They don't have to give you a pension. They don't have to give you a 401k. They don't have to give you a retirement plan. They don't have to give you shit. You work a 9 to 5, you work for them. You work for a company. You're basically just like a slave, essentially. You don't... Whereas if you work for the government, it's different, because they kind of take care of your ass. It's kind of rigged in that sense, which is weird. But you're also expected to show up, like, when it comes to, like, hurricanes, natural disasters, and shit like that, and, like, holidays and stuff like that. Like, if somebody goes crazy on Christmas, and you got a die-hard situation, and somebody holds, like, some place hostage on Christmas, guess what? You show up. So, whether you like it or not. Because, yes, there are benefits that come with working a government job and working for a state and working for the county and stuff like that, but there's also the downsides too. You gotta look at the pros and the cons. But, yeah, pension, that's something my grandfather has, basically to the point where, like, you don't have to rely on Social Security. You could pretty much, you continue making money even after you retire because you worked for the government, you worked for the state, you worked for the county. So, they take care of you, you know, in that sense. Whereas, like, a job doesn't guarantee you that shit. Jobs not going to give you... Jobs do not give you pensions. It used to be that way back in the day, in like the 40s and the 50s, when they used to have these factories, actually 30s and 40s, back when they had the factories during the World War II, and like all the women were working in the factories and stuff like that, was like those women got pensions and shit. Like a lot of the people that a lot of the old people that were at the retirement homes that I was working at, a lot of them were living off of a pension. Not a lot of them were living off of Social Security because there's not much Social Security to go around, and there probably won't be any to go around in my generation for the future. So, because you got less and less young people working now, so like Social Security is pretty much non-existent. But like a lot of those old people, they were basically just living off of fucking pensions and shit. Whereas, like, nowadays, like, you work a 9 to 5, you work, like, a stupid dead-end job. You're not going to get any of that. You're not going to get no pension. You'll be lucky if you even get to retire. So, that's another reason why I was thinking about it, too. I want a career where, like, I can make money even after I'm done out in the field, even after I'm done working. Like, if I do make it to the age of retirement, I do get to become an old man, God willing. You know what I mean? And I do get to experience being a wise old, you know, fuck. You know, that's something I would want. I don't really... Saving for retirement's not a guarantee. You basically, the only way to save for retirement is to work a career where you actually get, like, some kind of a pension. To where the state or the government takes care of your ass. Nonetheless... Whereas, like I said, you work 9 to 5 your whole life. Say you become a plumber. Like, you're not really guaranteed retirement, even after you retire. Or say you become an electrician or an AC guy, you're not guaranteed a pension. You don't work for the county. You work for a business. You work for a singular business. You work for, like, either you work for somebody or you work for yourself. Either way, you don't get a pension. That's only something you get if you work a government job or you work for the county or the state. So like all these guys who work construction or they work for utilities or they work water company and stuff like that, these guys you see on the side of the road where it says men at work and they're working on landlines and shit, those guys probably get a pension because they work for the county, they work for the state. Whereas, like, regular construction dudes, like carpenters, apprentices and shit, they're not going to get a pension. You know, regular plumbers and shit, they're not going to get a pension. They just work for a company. They work for a business. And then,
We both got that BFG. That's crazy. That's the door open.
the same thing with the military, too. The military people get pensions. Forgot to mention that, too. So if you enlist in the military, you get a pension. Because you served for the country. You fought for the country. You fought for the United States. You're not just fighting for a state and a county. You're fighting for, like, a whole fucking nation. So,
The United Nations.
and that was something that my grandfather had. And that's why he was able to retire early at a young age before he passed away. God rest his soul. Rest in peace, Grandpa Tony. But yeah, he retired early because he did work. He worked even after he retired from the military, and after he left the military, he still worked. Because he didn't want to just sit around and do anything. Like I said, these are different generations, man. They were on a whole nother level. They didn't just fucking sit around with their thumb up their ass. They would find shit to do just for fun. So he painted and shit. He did like maintenance and shit. Like flipped houses and stuff. That was after the military, but he still had a military pension. He didn't even have to work, but he chose to. Even though he had a pension and he was pretty much good, he could have just sat on that for the rest of his fucking life, but he's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do something. I want something to do. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different options that people go. There's so many different routes. But if you go to college and you go to trade school, you're really not guaranteed a pension. You're not guaranteed a job, period. You know, you're not guaranteed to be an ESPN sports broadcaster. And even if you work for a company like that, you're not guaranteed no pension. You're not going to get no pension for covering NFL football. I'm sorry, that's just not. You don't work for a county. You don't work for a state. You don't work for a government. You don't work for the United States. You're just a fucking content creator at that point. That's just the equivalent of being a YouTuber. You just get paid.
Why'd you have to go all the way back here?
I don't know, Mike. Pay attention to the game. I don't really give a shit about this game. Really checked out on these fucking first-person shooters. They're not really that great. Level design in these games is dog shit. It's just a fucking map. It's like a maze. That's it. This is no different from Pac-Man.
Yeah, but I was almost at the end.
But, what was I saying? What was I on? Oh, yeah, you work for, like, sports broadcasting, you're not getting no pension. Because you don't work for a government, you don't work for the United States. You're basically just a company that creates content, like your entertainment industry. Just like actors, they don't get a fucking pension either. You're an actor, you're a content creator. You're entertainment. You're not gonna get a pension. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get. Why should you get taken care of for the rest of your life? For making other people laugh? For making other people, you know. It's just, I don't get it. It's kind of stupid. But anyways, the whole cop thing, I was like, kind of to the point where I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll try it. So I went online before I went in person yesterday. And I went online like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I don't remember. But I went on the website. Like I said, they had the civilian positions like crossing guard and shit. And then they had the ones you could get sworn into. And then at the bottom, they had one that said, give us your email, fill out an application, and if the sheriff's office likes the application, if they accept the application, you can get enlisted into the academy. We'll pay for the academy, we'll pay for it. We'll provide your clothes, your uniform, your gear, all the stuff you need. You don't have to pay out of pocket. It's covered, and you'll be guaranteed a job.